Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namofsky. Today's focus is how to reshape our relationship with money. Ellen, before we went to break, I was talking about, the way that we think. You have an easy way for people to think about scarcity and abundance. Could you share that with us as to why it really matters?
I would love to do that. And it might be helpful for me to just give some definitions of scarcity and abundance. So, scarcity thinking tends to be fear based, worrying a lot, aggressive competition. For me to win, you have to lose. There's only so much to go around. Can also show up in judgment, judging other people how they are with money, or being envious, like, oh, I wish that were me, that happened to. And abundance thinking is optimistic and collaborative, and there's more than enough to go around. And generosity lives in abundance thinking. And one of the ways that I find it really helpful to think about these is going with the current or against the current. My husband, Stephen, did an Ironman competition about 4 years ago, and he did really, really well in the swim. And part of the reason he did well in the swim is that it was in the Ohio River and he was swimming with the current. So I like to think of abundance thinking is going with the current. Everything's just easier. Scarcity thinking is swimming against the current. Now, I often ask audiences, do you think someone can have a lot of money and be a scarcity thinker? I'm like, like we can all think of people that are like that. And I say, like, what? Yes. And it sucks. Like, why would you want to do that? You could also have more joy and contentment being an abundance thinker. And we all can flow into scarcity, sometimes going against the current. We see something on the news or something happens, you lose a job or something scary happens. But noticing that and doing things to move you back into abundance thinking helps calm our nervous system down, and it does make things easier.
Who doesn't want to have an easier life and make things easier? I want to talk about the money MO chart and how it can give readers perspective, well, readers of the book perspective and viewers on their relationship with money.
Yeah, I came up with this chart, your money MO, your modus operandi, when I was doing a program for couples. And I realized that we think about a chart with the top part attention and the bottom part avoidance, and then on the left side judgment and the right side appreciation. So if you're high on attention and high on judgment, that would be where control lives. We can think of people that like pay so much attention to their money and they're judging how other people do things. They tend to be a little bit controlling. Judgment and avoidance, this is where blame lives. This is where you're blaming the economy, the government, the interest rate, everything else, but taking personal responsibility for your finances. The lower right-hand quadrant is high in appreciation and low and high on avoidance. This is where passivity comes in. This might be somebody who just turns all the responsibility of their money over to somebody else, an advisor, a partner, a parent. And then attention and appreciation is where prosperity lives. Now, especially when you think about other people in your life, if you are someone who's really high in control, and you're married to somebody who, or you're in a relationship with somebody who's low on avoidance or high on avoidance and appreciative, they might like not have good communication with you. You could be also really high on prosperity, but if you're not helping the other people in your life take some responsibility for themselves, then you're not really helping them, right? This is parents that someone just told me a story about 80-year-old parent who's finally turning control over to his 40 and 50-year-old daughters to handle money. Like,
Wow.
you know, like
Yeah.
you're not really helping anybody by waiting to do that.
No, you aren't helping anyone at all. That's bizarre to me, but let's move on. I want to talk about, we've got 30 seconds before we go to commercial break. So um, I think what I'll do is when we come back, we will talk more about some of the reasons why most common people feel money anxiety. And basically, we can talk about the fact that how someone can begin to break free from their money anxiety, because whether you have money or not, people are still anxious about it. As you said earlier, you can have an abundance, you can have a scarcity, but you're still going to be, you're still going to feel anxious about it. So please don't go away. When we come back, more of Messages from Money.